You're muted.
Good evening and welcome to this international webinar at Believers Church Medical College and Hospital. It's our 59th webinar and it's a great pleasure to have you all attend this session. And today we have a very interesting session, and it's on research for medical students. And not only research, it's about a person's journey from zero to infinity. So the person in question here is truly an international doctor, and she has volunteered to come over and speak to all of us. So it's a great privilege to welcome the best outgoing student from the University of Maiduguri, Nigeria, as she completed MBBS and went on to pursue her MD pharmacology from the prestigious All India Institute of Medical Sciences in India. And from there, having a keen interest in research, she went on to become a clinical researcher in hematology and medical. Requesting our friends to please mute. Thank you. And medical oncology at the Weill Cornell Hospital, New York, and NYP Methodist Brooklyn Hospital, again in New York. She worked in COVID research at the Larkin Community Hospital, Florida, and was a clinical volunteer at the Global Medical Care, Queens, New York. And today, she stands before us as a proud and accomplished doctor, as she has matched for pediatrics at the Sunny Downstate Health Science University, the Children's Hospital at Sunny Downstate, 450 Clarkson Avenue, New York. So presenting to you, Dr. Sana Irfan Khan. So Dr. Sana, it's a great privilege to have you, and we are all here to listen to you, get inspired. As young doctors, we have got medical students and doctors listening to you over YouTube Live, right here in the Zoom room, and over to you. It's all yours. Dr. Sana Khan.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jacob, for the kind words, kind introduction. I think you said much more than what I am, but thank you very much. And I can see there are many newbies here, or future surgeons, physicians, or future breakthroughs in medicine. And I'm so excited to be here with all of you. And today I'm not going to bore you with the p-values and all those clinical trials, phase 1, phase 2. I'm just going to tell you how you can do it from zero to infinity, how you can also start, no matter where you are, no matter where you come from. So my journey, just in brief, before I motivate you, it's going to be more of motivational, but I'll tell you also some tips. And I know you're going to learn. Before you leave this place, you're going to learn. So I was born and raised in Nigeria. My parents are from India. And I did my medical school in a small place in Maiduguri. And we had very few advancements and diagnostic facilities, but still, I always believe that we should excel wherever we are, and we should always try to move forward. So I did my medical school there, and then I wanted more in life, and I just wanted to take the name forward, like all of you here today at this college, Believers Hospital. I'm sure one day maybe you would also be taking the name forward. You would also be shining the name of your college. So that was something I wanted to do. I came to India, and that's when I realized that, wow, I'm in the second most populous country in the world. Now I have to get into residency in India. How do I do this? I first had to clear my license exams, but somehow I kept on believing. So I told myself that no, I'm going to do it. And I would always watch motivational speeches and keep myself motivated, and worked hard. But the main thing was passion from inside. I just wanted to do it, and I wanted to excel and just grow from inside. Just be better than what I was yesterday. I was not competing with anyone. I didn't want to be better than anyone else. I just wanted to be better than myself yesterday. That's it. So I gave in my residency exams in India. I started with the Indian PG, and unfortunately, the first time I didn't make it. And it's very important for us to talk about our failures. And I did not make it. I was really disappointed. And I thought maybe it's not for me. Maybe I should just give up. Maybe I should do something else. But I, instead of doing all that, I just sat down and reflected, like, what did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? And I took different advices from people. I watched those that made it. Like, okay, is Indian PG so hard to get in? Okay, I came from Nigeria. Many people told me, oh, you came from Nigeria. Even the Indians, they don't get in so easily. I'm like, but I mean, there must be a way that people do get in if you study hard. But again, I didn't want to be the kind of person that would kill myself and get depressed just because I didn't make it. So I just told myself I'm going to become better and let me join some hospital, work somewhere while I'm pursuing my PG entrance. It's not the end of the world. I still can make an impact. I can still save lives because I had my license, just like you guys will have after your final years, right? Many of you are going to get PG entrance in the one go. Many of you will not get it in the first time. And I want you to believe that be ready that there are many times that failure comes in life and you should be ready for that and embrace it. And after the first time, I kept working. And then I don't know why, I just kept on looking at the building of AIMS Delhi, and I'm like, can I get in here one day? They told me it's the best in India. I said, why not? Why can't I get in here one day? Like, what do the students here do different that I can't do? I told myself, and I just kept persevering. I would read and I would see how do people study for it. Okay, fine. The Indian grads, they start from their second year, their PG entrance exams. But I was like, okay, let me just keep working on it. I gave my AIMS entrance. Thankfully, it's twice a year, and I didn't make it the first time. I didn't make it. And but what I did make in the first time was I luckily got into their non-acad positions. Like when the residency positions fill up, they take you as a non-acad if you have a good, maybe an average rank, in the thousands. Thank God now there are many names. In fact, it's very good for all of you. You people can excel anywhere. But that time we had only one in Delhi. So, and that's it. I got in and I just wanted to work in the ER. I started saving lives. I started making an impact. I was doing my best. And then I would meet the residents there and I would just look at them. I would say, how did you get into the residency here? Can you please give me some tips? And they would just tell me, oh, they did this, they did that. I would just follow their strategy, whatever they told me, however, how they studied, their schedule. I was like, should let me try also. And they told me that many people will get in the first time, but most get in by perseverance. It's not everyone that ranks in the first 10. You're going to be some people, it takes them years to reach that rank. So not so I knew that I was not a genius, but I just wanted to improve. So I kept on working hard till the day that I got my um, third attempt in AIMS PG entrance. I have to tell you that because you have to know that failure is part of life. And during my third time, I just saw that I was in the first 500. And I was so shocked because I was so not expecting it. At that time, I had just given the exam like, okay, whatever will happen, will happen. I had already been giving exams. So, and then I got in the top 500, and now it was like, okay, where will what will I get as my specialty? I knew I was not in the top. Right from Nigeria, I wanted to do pediatrics. Pediatrics was my dream branch. But again, I knew that how competitive it is in India. I tried my best twice, thrice. I couldn't get in. So now that I was in the top 500, I'm like, okay, fine. Let's see what I get. Whatever I get, I know I'm going to excel in it. And who knows, someday I'm going to get more opportunity. Somewhere, somehow, maybe my dream will come true, right? So I told myself, okay, I'm going to try and do it. Let's see what I get. The way the ranking system is in India, you people will understand. By now, many of you know it. So I was being offered so many subjects, mainly preclinicals. There were no clinicals. And it didn't make me sad at all because I was like, whatever I get, I know it's in AIMS Delhi, I'll do my best. And then there was pharmacology, a subject that always scared me right from medical school. You know, it scares us all. You have to try and be those drug names, their side effects. Oh my God, the names were the most horrifying. I mean, so I was like, okay, now I'm getting pharmacology. I knew because I did the first, second rounds and into this one. The open counseling, there was pharmacology, which was the best bet I had. And I was thinking, will I be able to do justice to pharmacology when I never even thought about it? But can I do it? I just told myself, you know what? Whatever we are in this world is because of pharmacology. The drugs, the treatment, the vaccines, everything begins from pharmacology. Why not? Why don't I try it? Give it a try. And I opted for pharmacology. Now I came into pharmacology from a completely clinical background. I had been working in ERs. I had Pharmacology was not a subject that was taught well in my medical school. I have to be honest, because at that time it was something that we didn't even take seriously. We would just be like, okay, just read it to pass the exams, you know. I was like, okay, now I'm going to be a specialist in this. How will I do it? As I got into pharmacology, I got into the cardiovascular lab. Professor D.S. Arya, I am always thankful to him for giving me so much opportunity in his lab. And that's when in the first 6 months they told me, you know what, come up with a research topic. I said, what is a research topic? You have to do a complete a thesis in 2.5 years. So you need a topic. So I was like, but I have never done research. It was zero for me, right? And suddenly within a month, I'm being asked that, come up with a topic. But it was not a sudden one. I was told that, this is how it's going to be. But again, I remember the HOD of pharmacology telling us, you know what, you people are the creamiest layer of the country, so we expect high from you. Now I was all shaking. I was like, oh my God, I mean, how will I do it? I don't even know much in research. I'm so zero. And that's when slowly I said, okay, let's do it one step at a time. I got to do it late. I think you guys have so much opportunity. You're so blessed. You have people like Dr. Jacob is arranging webinars for you so that you learn from people's experience. We didn't have all this. The internet was not very common during our medical school. I think it had just began in Nigeria. There was nothing like all this things that is happening now. So at that time, it was like, okay, that was 2014. Like, okay, fine. So I had to look for a research topic. So I was told that you're going to work on rats. And I was like, rats? I'm going to work on rats. What will I do with rats? And that's when I started discovering the beauty of pharmacology. Oh, so how is a drug developed? Do you think they just start giving it to humans directly? No, you have phases by which they are tested, right? So we are here testing potential chemicals that can become drugs. And I'm like, oh, wow, that sounds interesting, right? So you start with an in vitro, you first test the drugs in some petri dishes, then you go testing them on animals. There are phases of it, right? Smaller animals, bigger animals, smaller doses, bigger doses. It takes a long time for it to reach humans. And I was like, this sounds really interesting. I mean, why not give it a try? But again, I was so scared of rats. I mean, now I was going to be working with them, but the whole idea sounded exciting. So I was told, you know what, go search for a drug, the chemical that you think we can develop can make an impact on people's life. And why not? And also has it have an impact on a disease? We were working in cardiovascular lab. We were working on heart. We were working on myocardial infarction model in rats. Before drugs come into are given to humans, you have to test them on animals, and that's why every disease is modeled in animals. It is so interesting and so exciting. I'm telling you that every single disease can be modeled in an animal. And that's a different world. Believe me, pharmacology is a completely different world. And I found that so exciting. I was like, we didn't know all this in our medical school. So we were only cramming the name of the drugs and trying to just, mug it up. So, and that's it. And then we I slowly then started studying, learning about drugs. Okay, how do I get a new drug? I mean, what is this? This is like me becoming a discoverer. I mean, I never even thought of that. And that's the best thing about a big institute. You're taught how to think. And I'm really grateful for that opportunity because they were like, you try and come up, read up different chemicals and like, okay, how are drugs originated? Like from what do they come up? And most of the drugs we have, most 95% of them, usually they have a chemical plant basis. They always come up from something somewhere that was once a herb, and then the chemical structure or this was discovered, and then it becomes a drug. Like it's there are different ways it's done, you know. And I'm sure you will agree with me because the anti-malaria artesunate was also one of such discovery. And that's why I feel that India and China are so good with discovery because they already have this herbal medicine, and we as conventional doctors, or you can say as the non-Ayurvedic doctors, we can actually use that to our advantage and discover so many things. So I was like, okay, so what do I have to discover now? Do I have to go to fruits, vegetables? How do I discover a drug? I mean, so it's so beautiful, you know. You just start exploring something and you come up with, you keep reading. And that's when I was introduced to something I'm going to tell you about. I know many of you maybe know it, but still, I know you're medical students. At my time, it was new to me. So I was told, you know, have you heard of PubMed? I'm like, okay, yeah, I heard of it, but what do they do with PubMed? Okay, do you know on PubMed, that's the one of the biggest database of research, and you can read articles, do anything with that. And I was so surprised. I was like, okay, yeah, but I don't know why I never used it. We were always trying to pass exams, right? To get into wherever we want to go. We were never taught how to think in medical school. And I think that is one thing I really want to put into you guys. I do believe, yeah, I do understand that the thing with the Indian exams is you have to like mug up a lot of things, but it's okay. Um, do what you have to do where you are, but also don't stop your capacity of thinking, you know. Please learn how to like think out of the box. You read to pass the PG entrance, whatever, but make sure that you also learn how to think out of the box. It's something I learned late, I have to admit that, but especially research, I was very much not exposed to it, you know. The only thing I remember is during my community medicine in final year in medical school, we were asked to do a cross-sectional study, the rural posting, and I just did that study, made the bar charts of what the findings were in under 5. And I didn't even know that I could publish it. Nobody told me that it could be published. Maybe because I also didn't ask. You know, sometimes we don't ask, and we expect everyone to just give it to us. And I regret that did not publish that. It would have been my one publication in Nigeria, but today I don't even know where that is. I have to look for it somewhere, dig it up. My thesis of community medicine. So publishing is something I was never talked to about in Nigeria at that time. And it was something that even in India, it was not much talked about, even until I started my residency in pharmacology. And that's when they were like, you know, you have to publish, you have to have papers. It's so exciting. You'll see your name all over PubMed and you'll make an impact in people's lives. You're going to talk to them about things. And I'm like, okay, how is that done? And that's when I was introduced to something called PubMed, which I would like to share my screen. And just to make it interesting for you, I would share my screen just so that I hope my screen is being shared. Can you see? Let me know if you can see, Dr. Jacob.
No,
Can you
no,
see my
no.
screen?
It's not in there. It's not in there.
Okay. Okay, just 1 minute. Can you see it now?
Yeah, we got your screen.
Yeah. So this is for the medical students, whoever is here. There's something that is known as PubMed. It's a beautiful website, and many of you maybe already know it, but you don't know how to use it, right? So this has the world of research in it. So research can be different types. You can do animal research, you can do research on human beings, and most of the research is around getting new modalities of treatment, new modalities of diagnosis. That's what it is all about. You want to learn. I'm sure with COVID, all of you have already know what is the importance of research. I think COVID has told us the importance of research. So whoever is here right now knows how important research is. If there were no researchers, we would not get the diagnostic test for COVID, how to diagnose it with PCR, how to diagnose it within hours with the rapid kits, So all this is research. How we got the vaccine. It's all discovery, it's all research, and it's all in labs, done in labs. So it's really very interesting. So you guys as medical students, okay, let's just go to COVID. If I just want to think of something and I just type it, okay, I put COVID and look at all the articles, find all the article that refers to this. And you have so many articles that come up, right? And you're like, okay, what is this? Some of you will be like, okay, what's this? So you can see on the left-hand side, right? You can see there are abstracts. There's free full text. Free full text means you can read the whole article. There's so much you can do, right? With just a click. And then you have the type of articles. What's this? You have clinical trials, those that are done on humans. I'm not going to teach you research here. It can get boring. I'm just going to motivate you so that by the time you go home today, you also open PubMed and tell yourself that I also want to do this. Okay. And as I was saying, so you see clinical trials. Oh, there's something called meta-analysis. What is this? This is like a collection of so many trials that have been done, and you pool them together and give one evidence, and you summarize them. And again, apply statistics on them. I won't go into the details for you, but then there's review articles, a systematic review. You can see the publication date. Do you want within a year? Do you want within 5 years, within 10 years? There's so many things you can do on PubMed, okay? So let's say the article type itself, okay? I want to go to, let's see, additional, okay? So I had already clicked this. Let me see. Okay. So this is an example now that I'm telling you. Usually you also get things to do with preclinical research also, the animal research, it also comes up, okay? So now, as you can see now, there are different things. Now, let's say we go to just a review, because this is something you people can easily do in your medical school. I'm going to review, I'm telling you about reviews because it's something that is fast for you. You don't have to like just, go to the big things, a simple review, you can write it even as a first year medical student, if you have been writing essays right from your high school, right? It's just that the language will be scientific. So let's just say, okay, characteristics. Somebody just wanted to write a review on this, characteristics of SARS and COVID-19, right? And you just go to the full text and you get the whole article. And you'll start wondering, wow, what is this? What is this abstract? What is introduction? So these are just subtopics, Abstract is just like you're summarizing the whole article. Okay. And then you have an introduction. You have, I'm going to tell you tips for how to learn all these things. So the most important thing I'm going to tell you right now is the steps of how you can start your research. The most important one I'm going to talk to you about is reading. Develop the habit of reading. Read things, read newspapers, articles. Go to PubMed. PubMed is like you can just say it's just like a library, So it's like an online library. So you just go to PubMed, take up a topic, read about it, and just see what they wrote. And when you see what they wrote, they will be like, okay, this is things that it's English, right? It is English. It's not something that it will be only very few articles, those original articles that people discovered something. So that's different subject. That is completely like me. I was doing residency in pharmacology, so we had these original research articles where we test the drugs on animals, and then we put our findings. What did we find? After some days, we cut out the animal and then check the organs under the microscope and see what were the changes before and after giving the drug. So we divide the animals into groups. So this is like a big topic on its own. So this is something you may not do as a medical student. You can easily do many other things, which I'm going to tell you. Now, how else can you develop the habit of research? You can enroll in virtual conferences. Okay, there's so much happening nowadays virtually. And the whole world is on your laptop, the whole world is on your phone. We didn't have all this during our time. So you have all the opportunity in the world. So there's something called conferences, if you've heard of it. Just like there are these webinars, there are going to be many webinars on different topics also. You are going to have different research groups, different organizations, having different associations, having their own group and webinars and conferences. There is the International Pharmacological Society. There is the Society for Hypertension. I'm just giving some names. There are so many of them. There is the American Society for Clinical Oncology, Indian societies for atherosclerosis research. You have so many societies where now everything is going on virtual, and most of them are even doing it free. You don't have to pay a fee. So try and look for that, Google that and find out, and just invest, believe me, just invest maybe 30 minutes a day on doing this. You're going to see how much you're going to improve by the end of 365 days. That is what I'm telling you. You don't have to put your whole day into this, but you will see the improvement you're going to make. Okay. Then the third thing I'm going to tell you is try to develop writing skills. It's very important. It's something that not all of us can be writers. I understand not all of us are good in writing, but if you want to be a good researcher, try and see, can you develop writing skills? Can you write? Can you rephrase a sentence? I just tell you, today I just tell you the outbreak, let's say, the outbreak of COVID in China reached an epidemic peak in February. Can you rephrase this sentence for me? What is research? Review articles. They are just rephrasing of sentences, like you presented the same thing in your own words, So it's just about rephrasing sentence. So try and develop that habit. Now, can I rephrase this sentence so that when I write it, they wouldn't say I copied it from here, which is known as plagiarism. That is another very big thing. You don't have to copy paste when you're writing scientific things. Okay, you have to use your words, and it's not your words, it's just rephrasing. You have to rephrase it completely. And how do you do that? Synonyms. Look for synonyms of every word. Outbreak can have a synonym. Reached can have a synonym. You can just rearrange the whole sentence. I can just say in February, or maybe I can just go and say, I want to know which part of February did it reach peak. And I can say during early February in China, or in a place in China. Again, I'm going to say, if I want to rephrase a particular region of China, there was the peak of COVID-19 outbreak. So I have rephrased that sentence, and I can now check, is it scientifically correct? Does it sound good? So this is completely how it is to begin writing. And I really want you people to start that. Maybe it doesn't have to be that you're going to write it and publish it on PubMed or publish it in a journal. Can you start with the simple newspaper writing articles? Maybe simple, like they call opinions, op-ed. It's called op-ed on newspapers. Every newspaper has an op-ed. I know this is something that nobody also tells us about, because, okay, let me tell you, there's something known as op-ed. I hope, let me see. So this is something that medical students can do. You don't have to be somebody big, So it is opinions and editorials page. So every newspaper has an opinion page. It's known as op-ed. In India also, all the newspapers, your local newspapers, they have an op-ed page where you can actually just give your own experience about something, write about something, something scientific, something medical, just the everything is there on your fingertip if you just know, if you've been told about it. Look, right now I even have op-ed article, what it is and how to write one. I just go to this, I read, okay, what is this about? You know, what is this? How do they write this? Because I cannot publish in a big journal right now. So can I publish in a newspaper? Oh, I can't publish in Times of India, but can I publish in a Kerala newspaper, a small one? Okay, I can't even publish in the English one. Can I publish in the Tamil or the language that you speak there? Can I publish in that? Because this is how you begin. I want to tell you that this is how you begin your small steps to reach where you want to reach. You cannot, don't say you want to take a big jump. Nobody starts with the jump. Everyone begins with a step. So this will be your biggest first step, maybe a small step that today, in the next 6 months, you know what, I want to write this. I want to write an op-ed. Let's try writing an op-ed. And they do take medical students, especially you can combine with your one of your professors or anybody that you feel is good and likes also making students go forward. I think Dr. Jacob is an amazing human being and he can also guide you on that, and there are so many such amazing human beings out there that are always wanting your better, that want you to grow. There are different types of human beings on earth. You're going to get so many that don't want you to grow. You're going to get some that want you to grow. So you have the glass half full and half empty. So look at the half full glass and just go for it. Go for those that are willing to help you. Forget about those that don't want to help. Concentrate on those that want to help. So there are different types of mindset. You'll always get someone, they will say, okay, you're a medical student, you don't have a degree. Can I write one? I don't have a degree. You can write one. You're a medical student. You're affiliated with a college. So you have to take the permission. Can I take this college's name? Yes, just ask your head of department of the topic you want to write. And it's really, believe me, it's something that is doable. So you write an op-ed. Okay, this is how you begin. So I'm just telling you the smallest way you can begin writing. Okay. And then you can now start going on to mini reviews, and that can only be done when you go to that first step. You keep reading on PubMed, see what it looks like to read. I won't go to tell you to, go discover that drug, go give to the rat animal research and go make a discovery. No, you don't just jump to that. I would tell you to make an impact wherever you are. Start with there and then grow from there, because it will always be added on your CV ultimately. Many of you would want to come out. Many of you want to go to another place. Many of you would want to come out, gain the Western degree and go back and give more to your country, right? Give more to Kerala also, give more to India. So how will people in US or UK understand that you're a passionate person when they see that you have done so much in your country already? And doing so much in your country could be small things like writing in a newspaper or volunteering at a particular place or helping out, those kind of ways you can do it. But research is given very much importance in the West, I have to tell you that. And that doesn't have to be the big names that you have to publish in the highest, the best journals. There's nothing like that. Start with where you are, you know. So the next thing is you find a topic. Let's say you just want to write about something. You just have to think about the topic. What is it that excites you? What is it? What happened today or yesterday? Which topic did you read that you want to know more about? And then you say, is there what is still unknown in it? I just want to know, okay, let's say there's so much going on, let's say about COVID, right? But let's say I just want to know, let me go back to PubMed. Let's say I just want to know a particular topic. I want to know what is unknown in that. How will I even know what is unknown? I can also never finish knowing what is known, right? We just don't have that much time, even in our whole life. But you have to understand one thing is you just have to learn the habit of studying. let's say I just want to know, simple. Let's take the most common. Let's just take hypertension. Okay, let's just take hypertension, and I just type it. Okay, and I see that this is what I'm getting at.
Namita,
Okay, but all the articles we have.
free
Okay?
ആണോ? Free ആണോ? ഭയങ്കര
Yeah.
busy ആണോ?
So I get all these things in hypertension. I'm like, okay, so
പാവം ഞങ്ങളുടെ
what
വെബിനാർസ്
do I
ഒക്കെ
want to know?
കേൾക്കാവല്ലോടാ.
And I like something like hypertension,
ഞങ്ങളുടെ ബാച്ചിൽ ആരും
unknown.
കയറുന്നില്ല.
When I write something like hypertension, gaps in knowledge,
മെഡിക്കൽ
you
കോളേജിൽ
have to
നിന്നും
play
അവിടെ നിന്നും ഇവിടെ
with
നിന്നും എല്ലാം പിള്ളേർ കയറുന്നുണ്ട്.
you have to play with your
From
words and search.
But our
Okay?
beloved children are not at all participating. Very sad.
So you see, and just something like that now. So you're like, okay, so what do I want to know about hypertension that is unknown?
In 1 week,
There's so much you can discover in that itself.
See, in your
Resistant hypertension. Why do the young people have
you will
hypertension?
understand that each of these sessions were really, they are worth in gold. Okay. അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ ഇനി ഒരു 1
I
week
think,
മാൻഡേറ്ററി ആക്കാൻ പോവോ? അത്
Dr. Jacob, I think you're not muted.
it's very
Dr.
difficult
Jacob?
because
Okay. I think he's talking in the background. Dr. Jacob, you are not mute. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you are not. So fine. So you see, you can just know about what you want to know. You just start reading about it, and then you'll be like, once you start reading about hypertension itself, you'll be like, okay, what are the recent, let's say, what's the recent, just simple thing like, I want to know the recent advances. Okay, I just want to know the recent advances. So you see, oh, so there's something called biosensors in hypertension and nephrology. What are the recent advances in the genetics of hypertension? Look, there are so many things that you can just read, but we don't have all that time, I understand, in medical school. But it's something that if you feel like, instead of leisure time, instead of you to read novels, okay, read some novels, but if you develop the habit of reading, you will just enjoy. It's just like a click away, and you will want to know what else, what can we know? And you know, a simple like a newspaper article, if you write it in your language, as a doctor, you know how much impact it makes on people around. So many people read it, they don't know how to read English. They would read it in that language, and they'll be like, oh, you can just write about one particular drug, one particular treatment, one particular disease, you know, just summarize it in your language, summarize it in a simplified English for newspaper people to read, you know, the articles, the viewers can read the newspapers, you know, you can just, for the audience, for the audience of the newspaper. So you write it in that simplified English. So nowadays there's even so much, you know, when you write even on Microsoft Word, you know, you may say that, oh, my English is not good. What do I do? Your English is not good. There's something known as Grammarly. Very few people, that again, not many people know it. So there's something known as Grammarly. It's just a simplified writing assistant. When you write, it will tell you the mistakes you're doing. It's not paid. There's a paid version, but you don't need it. You know, you understand? You just go to install Grammarly on your laptop. It will be attached to your Microsoft Word. And once you're typing, you will know the mistakes itself, it will be telling you. Though Microsoft Word itself tells some spelling mistake, but this one will actually correct the grammar. Okay, so see how much you already have at your tips, you know, at your fingertips, and you can use that. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. So my next is, after you find a topic, you want to explore the knowledge gaps, what is known, what is unknown, what is the recent thing you can tell people about, you know, and then you write a review about it, a mini review, you can write your opinion about it. The other things, of course, I've already told you, check out databases. PubMed is the most common. You have so many other ones, but I would suggest start with PubMed. There's Cochrane Reviews. They'll tell you so many hi-fi names, but just stick to a simple PubMed for now, and you'll do a lot. you know. Then the other thing is, please believe in teamwork. Don't do things on your own, just by yourself. Take people together, you know, with your friends, with your seniors, with your juniors. Leave that envy, that competition. Just try and believe me, what you can do in a team, you can never do alone. So try and get some people with like-minded approach and do things together. Okay, you have something. I'm going to even tell you something else. You know, there's something known as there's something known as stat pearls. Okay, it's not. There's something known as stat pearls. They even allow medical students, once they graduate, to just publish, and it becomes PubMed index. And you know what stat pearls do is they'll just give you a topic. They don't even tell you that you should write an article. You know what they are going to just tell you is, just choose a topic. You know, just choose. They will give you that there are topics that you can write. So you can try and explore this. We don't have the time for me to tell you the whole thing, but look at stat pearls. Stat pearls is always there on, even in PubMed. You know, it's just a group that like people, students, to read. So they make students write. Understand? So you see, like, this is so look, can you just see when I type stat pearls, all these you can see are just simple things. Diarrhea, you know, you just write something about diarrhea. So this is a stat pearl article. Just see, it was published when? In 2021. And what did this person write? These are the sections, you know: introduction, etiology, epidemiology, the way you read it in textbooks, pathophysiology. And it's not as if this person, these two people, they are two again, they are not one, right? That's why I say the importance of team. It's not as if these two people are any high-fi people that are Nobel Prize laureates. No. In fact, this one, if you look at the affiliations, let's see, they may just be this will just be a medical student, and this will just be maybe a senior and attending, you know. So how do we write in stat pearls? We also try to Google that. You know, they have their main head. I can even send you his email. Usually we used to email him and ask him. Medical students email him and ask him that they want to start writing. So if there's any opportunity for writing, you know, and if you believe you can write well, you should like take the opportunity. And if you cannot write well, start by just practicing with newspapers and smaller things before you come to this. So this is just small, and see, they wrote on all this. They will give you the whole headings and they will tell you to write. And they don't do anything out of the world, you know. They just use whatever is there already. They will just use what is in the textbook and rephrase the sentence. And that's it. It becomes an article. This is on your CV that you wrote this article. You wrote the introduction, what is diarrhea, the etiology, the epidemiology, just 2 paragraphs, the pathophysiology. And this habit comes after you read. When you read, you will understand. I was never told all this when I was in India, when I was in medical school. I didn't have any such amazing people like Dr. Jacob who give webinars, free webinars, and invite international people to tell. But you know, when you go out and you see the world, you realize there is so much going on, and we can do so much that we don't know of. So I'm going to also, maybe I'll send Dr. Jacob the email ID of the owner of Stat Pearls. If any of you is confident, you should begin writing, you know. You should
Definitely,
write. Just
definitely, Dr. Sana.
yeah.
I will pass it on to all our participants.
Yeah, at least they should.
Sorry for the earlier interruption. Actually, I was trying to get in more of our students to attend. A lot of them
Okay.
are not attending, so I was just trying to contact a few representatives, and I was trying to get more children on board, because your session is really amazing, and I
You
really
know,
want all of our
Dr.
students
Jacob,
to.
you are spoiling their Saturday evenings. Come on, it's 6 p.m. They want to party.
That's right.
Already.
That's right. That's right. But then, being a teacher, it's my duty to
Yeah.
show them certain things. And
I'll also not take more time, right? 8:30. I think it's
no,
already for
it's extremely informative, and I bet for all of our participants, it's going to be an eye opener. there are students not only from our college. The majority of the participants are from other states, including Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Maharashtra. Okay,
That's
so
great.
pan
That's
India, we've got people attending. Though it's a small number, we've
yeah.
got a lot of children, a lot of young doctors eagerly attending this session. And I think you should give out your maximum. You're doing a great job. Thank you,
You
ma'am.
can also post the recordings later for people who couldn't attend, because I think somewhere, if somebody is busy out of maybe some emergencies, they could not attend. And Dr. Jacob, we have to also push the students. You know the way medical students sometimes are. So maybe you can just keep the recordings out, something like that. So
Absolutely,
I don't
madam.
know if you
Thank you.
have
Thank you
the
for that advice.
yeah,
You please
yeah.
continue. Thank you. You
Yeah,
please continue.
so fine. So that is it. So I was talking to you about stat pearls, and that is one way you can publish. I've told you about newspaper, op-ed. I've told you about stat pearls. So I don't know if they take medical students or unless or they take only those that have finished medical school. You find out that there is no harm in asking. There's no harm in emailing. You're going to get many people that will refuse and say no, but there will always be that one person that will say yes and give you the break. So this is an example. You can also start reading on StatPulse and see how people write, because this is just something like you writing a review article. In review articles, what we do is we just summarize a particular things. So let's say this comes under. Let me just say I want to Google something else. Okay, let's do the most common things. Let me not go to big things. So I want to write on diarrhea. Now, these are all the articles on diarrhea. So you can start reading about this, the rational diarrhea and the rationale to use a particular drug, sandostatin, probiotics for treating acute infections, diarrhea. You see, these are reviews or systematic review. Systematic review is a bit more advanced than review. I would say start with a review. Systematic review really needs a lot of effort and people going there. You start from the small things. Actually, here, believe me, here in US, medical students start research from their first year. It's a different world because they are so much exposed to that. Because again, it's not about ranking, getting a high rank. They are. It's a different way. Their whole system here is different. So, but still, I will not say India is bad in any way. It's great. They're also doing amazing in their own way. I mean, when you have 1.2 billion population, they must be a different way, right, than US to do something. So what they are doing also is great. So you should use where you are and utilize it to your best. Okay. So yeah. So sorry for that. So that is it. So this is an example. Like on PubMed, you can read all this. You see how it's read. You go to review articles and you see like if I click review, so they said a clinical review persistent diarrhea, clinical approach to diarrhea. So when I go to clinical approach to diarrhea, you see, okay, this is not a free article, so you'll not be able to anything that you see free, yeah. An overview of calf diarrhea. No, this is not even humans. So you are going to see that there's going to be a lot of articles. If you want, wherever you see that there's free written, you can always go to that. So focal diarrhea. Okay, these are usually veterinary, but I'm just telling you that in the humans also, there's going to be a lot of articles. So probiotics for treating acute infectious diarrhea. This is a free article, right? So let's read this now. This is a review article, and you don't have to do anything. I mean, you just have to collect different research articles. You understand? You just have to start like a background, you define the incidence, disease burden. You will learn these things when you just start writing and reading. I mean, you just once you read, believe me, once you read 10 review articles, you will know that it has the same pattern. You're going to see the whole big picture, that there's a pattern of writing everything. Like this, the treatment. Then they started with the probiotics. So I'm sure they mentioned how it was discovered and all that. And how did they even collect this information? They kept Googling again. On this, it's on the same PubMed. You will have all these research. Somebody must have done the original research article. You understand? And you will just mention about that in the review article. So don't go so high for now. Just start with a newspaper. I'm telling you, it will make a big difference. Newspaper, magazines, start with that, and then you learn how to write more. And my last tip, teamwork is very important. You can't do it alone, and don't even try. The next is believe in yourself. If you tell yourself you can do it, you will do it. If you tell yourself, no, I can't do it, this is not for me, this is for the big, this is only for US, this is only for UK, we can do this in India, we can do that. You can, I mean, it's the same Indians that come and create waves in America, right? You are there in India, but you're not doing as much as you would do when you come here. And it's just the way, it's just your mindset. I mean, you can still do the same while you're in India. There's nothing that your country is lacking, apart from just your own energy and enthusiasm. So please, please, just try and start making an impact. And um, I want to tell you that after that, once I completed my residency in pharmacology, I was very lucky that I was given a lot of, let me see if I can just tell you, I was given opportunity by I had a wonderful supervisor, and he was a kind of person that gave you chance to do whatever you want. He would give you the full opportunity. He said, you know what, do what you want. I want to see you to that you have published so number of papers. But of course, there are ethics, right? So you have to follow the rules. So I was lucky. I ended up publishing a lot of articles while I was there. And this was my main thesis. Okay, I actually chose febuxostat. I couldn't find a herb. It's so difficult for us when we are not from pharmacy background to start talking about phytochemicals and plant-based drugs. It's more of chemistry. So I looked for first of all, I looked for my model in the animal that was cardiac ischemia reperfusion injury. That's a myocardial infarction model. It's just these big words. You don't get scared of it. The ischemia reperfusion is just opening a blocked vessel, you know. So I looked for that model, and then I saw what are the things going on. What do we do? So usually, what has been going on in our lab. The good part is they will always tell you what they had been doing prior. So you just add on to that, you know. That's the best part. Like there's always someone who has done something, and you just add on to that. There are very few people that will be Einstein and just give their 20, 30 years and make a discovery, you know. That's very rare. You can also do that, but I can tell you that you can always start from anywhere and build up, you know. So they had already told me that, you know, we are working on this ischemia reperfusion injury model, and you look for the pathway. The most important things I wanted to know, what are the pathophysiological pathways. Why is there an injury when you open a blocked vessel? Though you have opened a blocked vessel, but why does the heart become weaker? You know, immediately you put in the stent, though the heart starts functioning, but it has been seen that it still doesn't function as it was before the heart attack. Do you understand? So why? So there's a lot on PubMed. You're going to see, okay, there are so many pathways involved. So I was like, okay, so which drug can attack this pathway? What is it that I can use? You know, again, a lot had been done before. So I just added up on it because I had just 2.5 years. It was not a PhD. I had to complete my MD. So I was like, okay, xanthine oxidase is also involved in the injury of when you open a blocked vessel. So xanthine oxidase is an enzyme. So does that click something in your mind? Can we inhibit xanthine oxidase and then reduce this injury? And do we have a xanthine oxidase inhibitor? Yes, we do. We had allopurinol, and then we have febuxostat. So febuxostat is found to be more potent. So why don't I try febuxostat? So this is how I developed the idea. And I didn't do it alone. It was a teamwork, please. It was put in together by all of us in that lab. And then we came up with this paper, and then it was published in 2017. And I'm so happy that, yeah, I was the first author because it was my research, my thesis. But again, you can see I was not alone, right? You can see I was not alone. There were so many people. So never do things alone. Try to do it in team. So, but again, so I came to United States, and when I came to United States, because I got married and my husband came here as a researcher. And when I came here 2017, 2018, I came here and again I was like, what should I do now? I mean, I don't want to go through because it's so difficult here for you to begin all over again. I said, I'm tired. I don't want to go into any PhD again. I don't want to like, why don't I do something different again? So you're always trying to look for something different. I loved pharmacology, but I don't think I am that genius and intelligent to give my full effort in pharmacology. It needs a lot. Here it's a different world. You're discovering drugs, right? And there's a lot of traveling involved. I had kids, so I was like, I want to do something else. Let's see if I can do something else with what I am now. You just be the best where you are with whatever you can. So I was like, okay, why not write USMLE? And then I started preparing for USMLE. I wrote USMLE. I finished USMLE in a year, all the steps, which again is doable. Please, you should know that Indians are very intelligent and you have a very good brain. Your training is good, so you can do it. USMLE is a piece of cake for Indians. So I did that. And then because I had done PG entrance preparation, so USMLE was not difficult. So after I passed that, I was like, okay, so how do I get into residency here? I thought I've passed, I'm done. No, there are so many like you, thousands that have passed it. This is not it. That's the thing here. That's the difference here. They will look at your whole CV. What have you been doing since medical school? What impact have you made for people? How much have you researched? How much have you contributed to knowledge for people? Where is your name in PubMed? Are you there? Where is your name even in newspaper articles? Did you help people or not? So I didn't know that much. All I knew is yes, I was given opportunity because I used to write well. So I as a team worker, I wrote many of the articles you can see here, and that way I got 10 articles, 10 the published articles. All the PhDs would work and I would design the whole manuscript. Writing is something I've always enjoyed. So my first paper was very difficult because it took me time. I had to keep writing and I kept improving. My first was not as good as my second, and that's how I kept on improving. There's always a way you'll improve. Your first will not be your best. So that's how I kept on improving. And by the time I came here, I was like, okay, now I want to know how is it to work on humans? What's the research? What is clinical research? I've done the one on animal. What does clinical research look like? And it's another world again. So that's when I was introduced to so many remote groups and so many things go on here. I mean, you cannot imagine, there's so much going on right from student level. And I brought myself down. I'm like, okay, forget that I even did an MD pharmacology. Let me start from zero. Let's go to clinical research. What is it? And that's when I'm like, okay, I was introduced to the world of how you collect data from different articles and how do you do a systematic review, meta-analysis. I used to be like, what is this? How do you conduct a meta-analysis? But when I came here, I met people that you have softwares and what are the steps of conducting meta-analysis? How do you gather the articles? It was doable. And I was even doing it late. Believe me, here the medical students started very early. And it's something that you people are in the wards, you can write case reports. Case reports is something that is beautiful. You just see a case, tell your consultant there that you want to write about this case. If it's something unique you saw, read about case reports, Google it. So you can even do what you're doing right now. You don't need to write something like a review, a big thing. Just on one patient, a case report is used from the time that patient came to the hospital, was admitted, till the time he discharged, what happened to him. That's it. You don't even need to do much. Like you don't need to read a lot. It's just that patient's lab values, you put it in a grammar form, that when he came, this was done. And then in the discussion part, you write about the diagnosis, the disease, read about case reports. I think it's something that you students can really do even at your level, Please try it, do that, and tell your consultants. And I wish there are many more people who encourage, like many more consultants that encourage you to do that. And even they don't, why don't you give them the idea? Many people just tell them, sir, I want to use your name. We can do it. Let's try. Let's begin. I just, because you cannot publish a case report just on your own. There has to be a consultant above you. So it becomes a teamwork. So you try that. So I saw that, okay, you can do case reports and you can do meta-analysis. You can do so many things. I learned a lot during my clinical research here. I published a case report. My stats were published. It was a beautiful journey in this 2 years that I was here. And the first time, again, I must tell you, last year when I applied for residency here also, I did not match. I did not get into residency. I don't have to tell you that I have everything first attempt. No, I didn't get in. And I was like, why didn't I get in again? But I was used to it. India had given me so much, so many blows of failing the PG entrance there, that I knew that, no, I'll handle this. So let's see, what do I need to do to get in? And I saw that people here, their CV had so much research, so much going on. They're always getting involved in something or the other, volunteer here, there. So I'm like, okay, let's get into research now. And believe me, the research I was involved in, I got almost 15 publications, was simply a hemato-oncologist who is here, and he gathers people, students on WhatsApp, and divides them into 6-7 students group and tell them, come up with your topics. And there would always be a senior in that group, and come up with a topic and write a systematic review meta-analysis. They would conduct Skype sessions on different things, like how to write a research, how to begin. It's just so organized, and that is how he does it. And you don't even have to be like in USA for that. All you need to do is you just mail him that you want to be involved in research. So if you want, whoever is interested, I'll leave my email. I don't want it to be like 2,000 people bombarding him with emails. If anyone is genuinely interested in research, you can contact me, and then I will send you his email. Because if he includes you in his group, there's a lot you can do. And there are people like that here. Actually, there are people that do that, and you will learn everything, and you'll end up publishing. So I ended up publishing with him a lot, and it was a teamwork again. So so again, while I was doing all this, I was again preparing for my next residency application. Okay, I was preparing. I was like, okay, now I have to apply this year again. And I realized that something I also didn't have was communication skills. I was so innocent when I came from India. I was like, we don't have that public speaking skills. Not all of us have it, I'm sorry to say, because we're always very shy. But here, everything is like confidence. You have to be so confident about what you're doing, what you're saying. So I realized I have to also work on that. But my research was my main thing. I got involved in different types of research. I reached out to people. LinkedIn, please, medical students, make your profile on LinkedIn. The whole world. I met Dr. Jacob there. I mean, the whole medical students are there. You don't have to have a degree to be in LinkedIn. And just start connecting with people, like-minded people. Just everyone, most people accept your connections, and see what they're doing just by talking to them, just by asking them. You will see that there will be so much there's so much you're going to learn. So LinkedIn, Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, but I just want to tell you that, okay, so like, for example, I ended up publishing in American Society of Hematology. So this was an abstract that was published, this was an abstract, and it looks like one big thing. My name is somewhere in the middle, see it here. And I'm very happy about that, because it's one of my added publications. But can you see the number of people here? They're almost like 20. And did you see all of their affiliations? So it's a teamwork. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's a teamwork, and anyone can do it. For a meta-analysis, you do not have to be like in a big organization or having number of patients. You can do it with your computer in your room at home for a systematic review, for a review, even a meta-analysis. But you can't do it alone. You need a team, you know, like-minded people, people that are good. You have biostat people. Ask around in your place, whoever is the biostaticians, if they can help you. Dr. Jacob, maybe you people should introduce something for research for the students, you know, somebody that is going to start right, that is start going to start encouraging them, you know, for
Dr.
systematic
Sana,
review.
actually, at our institution, we have a research head who is a PhD from the United States of America, and
Amazing.
we have got quite a lot of students involved in ICMR research, and apart from that, a lot of other research too. In fact, a few
Great.
of our students have even almost reached publishing in PubMed and in an
Yay.
international journal.
That's
So,
awesome. That's so good. So I know you will reach there because you're already doing a great job. So
because yeah, so many of our institutions are lacking in that, especially institutions that I know. But um, I don't intend to brag about my institution, but in fact, the truth is that we've got quite a lot of students actively doing research. So especially,
awesome.
yeah, we've got a few students in the final year who are hell bent into research and who want to come to the United States for clinical research. So already
Awesome.
they've got national awards in research. So we've
Wow,
got
that's
quite a
awesome.
few. So especially because we have kept milieu for them,
Yeah.
an atmosphere where they can foster their research interests, and we've encouraged them all the way. So encouraging results are on way, but then it's a stark departure from what is there in the West in terms of financial background and support, grants and stuff, as in the United Kingdom, which we don't have. And especially with the pandemic kicking in, we really have a problem with
Yeah.
grants and stuff. But then, as you said,
Yeah.
it's quite potential to unlock, and I'm very sure that all our participants here from our institution and elsewhere who are tuning in will definitely gain a lot of strength and courage from this talk, and they will start thinking in this particular perspective. Yeah.
Yeah. And you don't need just one more addition like for these reviews, systematic reviews. I mean, this is something that you can just form a group and start, begin from somewhere. You don't need original research is, of course, then you need always grants. But then you have this just simple things like review articles, systematic reviews. You just need to train the kids how to do it and give the motivation. And I know they will be able to do it. You don't need any grants for that. That's the best part. And it's something they can always begin with. So that's what I'm trying to also say. So anyway,
Absolutely. Actually, yeah, that's the whole point here. Because whatever you have opened up to our participants is quite doable.
yeah,
Something These are things which even we did not know. So as teachers, as facilitators, things which even we don't know, how will we get it across to our students, right? So this is where such sessions come in very handy, right? So we are really, really valuing this talk, and please continue, madam.
yeah, but now I've taken too much time, so I'm going to just cut it short now. So after doing all my research, getting involved, I made sure that by the time I couldn't get into residency last year to the time I again applied this year, I had tripled the number of pages. I had tripled my number of publications, and it was doable. I did that in a span of 8, 9 months because I was so much reaching out to people and so much collaborating with people. That is the thing. You have to have a team spirit. If you have that, you can do anything, anywhere. The whole world is in your phone right now. You understand? You have the whole world in your phone. So please, you can do that. And flash forward, I got an email yesterday that I got into pediatrics residency, which was my dream right from Nigeria. But again, pharmacology was the biggest mediator for me to get into pediatrics. I wouldn't have done it without my residency in India because that is what they saw also in my CV that, wow, you're so perseverant. Wow, you love doing research also. You love keep growing, that motivation to keep learning. And that's how I got in. So every step in my life, I don't regret anything. I wouldn't say that, oh, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that. Everything has taught me something. And I'm going to start my pediatric residency here in New York, and I'm very excited. I'm also anxious, and I hope I can do my best also again here. I want to prove and again take the name of my small Nigerian medical college, which for me is one of the greatest because it gave me the foundation. And I take the name forward because your medical school will always be linked to you. Remember that? No matter how many residencies you do, everybody will ask you, where did you do your MBBS? And you can take the name of your medical college very far by what you do. So thank you so much, guys. I'm going to leave my email with Dr. Jacob. Anyone that needs any kind of advice, please contact me. You can also actually connect with me on LinkedIn. I think I'll also leave that. My LinkedIn address will be a better thing that I'll leave, because on that you can message me also and I can reply you. And I wish you all the best, and I pray all of you are someday the greatest doctors, the greatest surgeons, and the greatest physicians, pediatricians, gynecologists, and keep publishing till the end. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sana. That was truly amazing. Very crystal clear, all that you put forward. Simple things which we, as faculty, we didn't know. Things like meta-analysis is quite a common thing here. OPED is really a new phenomenon which we learned about, and even that we can write on stat pearls, and truly an eye opener, especially for our participants over here. And we have our researcher and assistant professor of biochemistry. He has done his PhD from the prestigious JIPMER in India. So, Dr. Cletus. So, Dr. Cletus, if you can unmute and share your perspective, I'm sure that you want to tell us something. Dr. Cletus? Dr. Cletus, we can't hear you. Yes, please.
I think he asked some question. He has typed his question, I think. In the chat box.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, Cletus, please. Good to have you here.
Yes, sir. And the session was very excellent, and it was very informative also. As far as our students is concerned, actually there is a lack now of publishing their findings. As far as our medical students are concerned, they are merely focusing on their subjects from the textbooks. And I hope this, this talk has delivered the actual point we have to do, and it is stressing that we have to do some sort of research, and that research should publish. And Madam, I would like to ask you one question that actually, what are the challenges? There are a lot of controversies are going on for pay and publishing, like publishing in a predatory journals. So how, as a student level, how to choose a peer-reviewed journal for their publishing their research contents?
Yeah, thank you so much. That's a great question. Many people actually confuse that. They say that, oh, you're paying for your publishing, so it means it's not a good thing. You're paying them. And it's not how it is. Like all the big journals, Nature, Lancet, they take their publishing fee because they have their brand names. They will not do it for free. So it's just, but there are many others that have started following the trend, which are not that famous or that big. The main thing is the impact factor. You have to check that. You have to check the lower the impact factor, most likely it's going to be free. Elsevier, look at the publishing group. Publishing group is very important. Elsevier has many journals that are free of charge. They are not paid. You have to have a list, and you get this list of journals also. I'm going to send the link how you can search for every journal that exists online. You'll be able to see them based on whether they are free or paid. And the paid ones, I would say stay away from paid unless it's very big names or the impact factor is high. Again, you understand. And of course, there should be PubMed index, because PubMed index is very important. That is the main database that we have. So for me, as a beginner, what I would say is go for low impacts because they are very easy to publish in. When you have an impact factor that is in points, in 0.9, impact factor, by the way, is the number of times somebody has used the reference of that article, okay, or that journal. So it's like a collection, a summarized thing for the students I'm telling. So impact factor is like a summary over 1 year, how much was your journal cited, or the articles in your journal cited or viewed. So like that, you have impact factor, and that it's like the higher the impact, the better the journal, right? So so that's what I'm going to tell you, that go for the low impact for beginners, and then you go up slowly, go up slowly. Because if you have funds, like in AIMS, we used to have funds, and it's not everywhere that has the funds you have. I completely understand that. So in AIMS, we used to have the funds. So it was not a problem for us to publish in any of the high impacts, because we always had the funds. But again, where you are, be the best, try and begin from somewhere. So please go for the low impacts, for the free, because in AIMS itself, many times they would say, we're only going to publish 1 or 2 for you in paid. Look for the free ones. So there are many free journals also. So please go for that. And paid journals are not bad. Not all paid journals are bad, please. You look at the collective impact factor, okay? Some of them, the Nature Publishing Group, they always take money for it's called publishing fee, that is what it's called. You don't just do it for free, okay? It goes through the same process like every other journal. They will still look at your article. They will still see if it's good or not. If it's not good, if they will not say that, oh, we are taking money, so it's not good, just give it to us. No, nothing like that. It's completely a different, it is a misconception actually. So I think you should go more for the impact factor, and then also go for the low ones first and look for the free publishing groups. Like Elsevier have free journals a lot. So I always go with Elsevier, and really they're amazing. They actually have free journals. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cletus, for bringing in that much needed perspective, and a lot of tributes pouring in, Dr. Sana, from our participants. And you can listen to one, Shalin Amir, who says that it was truly a motivating and very informative session. And he's a first year student, so that's very
I
interesting.
hope to see you by the end of final year with 20 publications, and you can do it. Believe me. It doesn't have to be original. It doesn't have to be with grants. Please start with small ones. Yeah.
That's amazing. And a lot of students have thanked you. You can see in the chat, you can scroll it down.
Yes.
And
Thank you so much.
so, yeah. What are any other questions, dear friends? Do you have any other questions? Do let us know. You can type in the chat, or if you feel that you want to unmute and talk, you're welcome to do that. Anybody?
I think we should let them have a good Saturday night. This is enough motivation for them today.
All right. So yeah. So Dr. Sana, thank you so much for coming over And congratulations from Believers Church Medical College, the webinar coordination team, and our students and all our participants from across India for especially for this is your special day. You've matched and you're entering your formal training in pediatrics and looking forward to a board certified pediatrician coming back to us with a impactful pediatrics webinar down the lane in a few years. And I'm very sure that all of you can reach out to Dr. Sana and get the much needed infusion of information for your research work. As she says, I think you can all start small and achieve really, really big. It is not something which you cannot reach. So as medical students, we thought that research was that sour grapes, but it is not so, right? So there's a lot of avenues for research, and research is, believe me, the gateway to your post-graduation abroad and all sorts of breakthroughs in your professional career. In fact, the document for competency-based medical education in India, the new curriculum which is being introduced. So one of the primary aspects of being an Indian medical graduate, the new Indian medical graduate, is being a lifelong researcher, apart from being a competent clinician and a team player, a leader, and all that gamut. The most important aspect is being a lifelong learner and a researcher. So to that end, I think today's webinar really, really laid it out so well for our participants. And Dr. Sana, we are extremely grateful from the Believers Church Medical College and Hospital for coming over and giving us this fantastic session. And looking forward to collaborate with you and have you for more sessions. And if you travel to India, we would love to host you at our institution. So do let us know.
I would actually love to have some occasional ones before June and maybe give more insight on how to. Today, I just wanted to make it an overview because I don't want to bore people about how to conduct, Nobody wants to begin until you're motivated. So today for me, it was more of a motivational. And if you want to know the basics, just the stepwise, I can do another one maybe in coming months before I join in July, and I know I'll be very busy. So you can arrange that if you want the simple.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, we can have multiple parts. It has started off as Iron Man. So let's end with the Avengers. Let's have a multiple session talk of yours, and definitely. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing your LinkedIn account. I'm definitely sure that students and young doctors will reach out to you and you can directly help them. So on that note, thank you so much, Dr. Sana. It's been a great pleasure. You've been a live wire, motivating students and our young doctors. And we once again congratulate you. And to all our participants, thanks for tuning in. And our students also, remember, we are not here to bore you or we are not here to trouble you. In the long run, it is in the long run that you understand that all these sessions were extremely valuable little pearls, which will end up being wonderful prospects for you in the future. So on that note, thank you so much, everybody. And thanks again, Dr. Sana, for this amazing talk. And on the 23rd, we have a brilliant geriatrics webinar, geriatric medicine webinar on end-of-life care. So this is one Dr. Naveen Salins. He's the professor of geriatric medicine from Manipal University in Mangalore. So he is one of the accomplished young geriatricians on the rise. So you have to listen to him. Also, this is on the 23rd at 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Looking forward to all of you to tune in and take our number. It's 9894119472. I repeat, 9894119472. So I've put it on the chat box as well. If you reach out to us, we will add you to our national webinar group so that you can receive updates of all our webinar flyers, and it is absolutely free, right? So our ultimate goal is 1,000 webinars from 100 international universities, bringing in 1,000 international faculty, absolutely free for 5 lakh medical students in the country. It looks like a very, 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 very fancy dream, but it is. And we are walking towards it one step at a time. And I am pretty much sure that the Zoom room will be overflowing in a few webinars time. So we are working towards that. If one medical student would attend from one medical college in the country, we would have 500 participants every webinar in this platform. So there are so many institutions where quality sessions are not there. Okay, so that is the burden in our hearts to reach out to all our medical students. Each of these sessions, the speakers are handpicked, all accomplished international faculty, great motivational people, and excellent professionals. So we reach out to them, we write to them, we talk to them, and they spare their precious hours just to come and talk to prospective doctors, budding medical professionals. So I very much reach out to each one of you participants here. This is a mission with a great vision. So I hope you will partner, listen to more and more, okay? Every session has its own diamond hidden. And especially today's session, we had beautiful little gems spread all over, which if you had gathered meticulously, will change your life forever. And I'm grateful for that to Dr. Sena. So on that note, happy weekend, everybody. Thanks for this 1.5 hours of patient listening. In fact, amazing talk it was. And have a blessed weekend. Wear your masks, observe social distancing, avoid crowding, use hand sanitizer. Let's defeat COVID and take care. God bless you. Have a blessed weekend. Thank you. Goodbye.